Roar!
Open to All by Casketbase77. Wonder Breeze. Fleetfoot shuffled the field test results and glanced across her desk at the recruit. He was perched on the back of his allotted chair, his wings folded to avoid catching the weak ripples from the papers and launching their owner across the room. Not that he seemed to mind, judging by the bright smile on his tiny face. He'd been sporting that starstruck grin ever since he flittered in, openly giddy to be in the presence of a real Wonderbolt. And not just any Wonderbolt. The one who had the final say in whether he'd be the first Breezy to be accepted into the world-famous stunt team. He was certainly the first to apply. Fleetfoot's sympathetic heart lurched as she looked away from that huge, hopeful smile and shuffled the test result papers again. Anything to delay her inevitable bad news for the bright-eyed Breezy. Unfortunately, he wasn't one to let her stalling go on forever.
How was my score on the history portion of the exam? Good indeed.
Fleethoof prepared her best authority voice as she moved the paper aside to check the Breezy's results. You got a perfect score on Wonderbolt history, culture, and disciplinary expectations. That's tied with the current record holder, Rainbow Dash herself.
Pride is not a Breezy virtue, but I partake in it now. I do indeed.
Your pony-ish is very good, by the way. The Breezy gave an exaggerated curtsy, obviously attempting to hide his reddened face.
Studied the language most hard before coming here. Your pony-ish is clear too. Sorry for bluntness, but I indeed had believed you lisped.
Now it was Fleetfoot's turn to redden. I did for most of my life, yes, till I found out speech therapy was covered under my health plan. You really researched everything there is to know about the Wonderbolts, didn't you?
Spitfire's favorite underwear brand is Yakistan Silk to stop flight suit chafing.
I didn't need to know that.
She said so indeed. Conversation was overheard by a tabloid publisher.
Like I said, you're a very thorough fan.
Sorin has low blood sugar. The price is 1/4 of a quarter Earth pony. A dragoness named Smolder is the only featherless applicant in all of Wonderbolt history.
That's enough, recruit. Really?
One more, please.
Fleetfoot was not a pushover, especially when dealing with applicants, but the Breezy's eyes were shining brighter than a pair of rainbooms. The least she could do was let him have his moment before she sent him home. Alright, one more.
One more. The academy is haunted by the daughter ghost of an old Grand Marshal.
Fleetfoot's heart quickened. Stock Image was one of the Academy's best-kept secrets, and had been for over a dozen moons.
Miss Fluttershy told me of her when last visited. Will never tell though. If did, it would be not special to know anymore.
Very, disciplined of you, recruit.
Discipline is indeed an important Wonderbolt virtue.
Right. Speaking of which, I guess I should go over your field test results now. The Breezy's energetic nodding made Fleetfoot's heart lurch again, but like they'd just agreed, discipline was a Wonderbolt virtue. She sighed and spread out the pages on her desk. Your lap time in the test track was a little over 9 hours.
Yes, indeed. Breezy world record.
Right, but the minimum qualifying time is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The Breezy's eyes wavered slightly.
Not all tests needed pass to qualify,
he reminded Fleetfoot quietly, and with more of a wobble in his voice than he probably meant to allow. Right, recruits are allowed one exam waiver before being barred entry. But your Dizitron recovery time doesn't even have a number marking. It just says excessive.
I righted myself immediately after lunch.
Yes, but said launch also catapulted you out of the training grounds. It took you an estimated 3 days to fly back to the academy and land on the target that stops the test timer. And even then, your weight wasn't enough to trigger the pressure pad. The groundskeeper found you that Monday passed out next to the still-running clock.
Was tired from a long weekend of flight. Does endurance count for nothing?
I'm afraid not, Recruit. Even if we threw out the Dizatron results, you couldn't even perform the flag gathering exercise.
I lifted each flag with magic.
The Breezy argued half-heartedly as he flashed his antennae weakly to demonstrate. Yes, but you only had the strength to carry each of the flags back one by one. The course is structured for them to be gathered in succession, then brought back all at once. The Breezy looked up at Fleetfoot, feeling even smaller than he looked.
So I am not to be a Wonderbolt.
Rip it off fast like a band-aid, Fleet. You've rejected recruits before. This is just another one. I'm afraid not, Redcap. Believe me, I don't enjoy failing you, but this team only accepts the best flyers in Equestria. Most ponies don't get accepted, and you... Look, all the determination in the world doesn't make up for...
No need for babbles.
Redcap cut in firmly.
I'm no child who needs his feelings spared.
Fleetfoot wasn't sure how to answer.
But I am indeed the first Breezy to apply for Wonderbolts, yes?
Redcap's starry naivete was completely gone and replaced by steely professionalism. To say Fleetfoot was caught off guard would be an understatement, but she recomposed herself. You are, yes, the first and only so far.
And Academy records will log me as such?
They will. We log every applicant who flies through our door.
Then I am victorious!
Redcap's exult was so joyous that Fleetfoot actually flinched. Then she flinched again when Redcap sprung from his perch to her face and delivered her a kiss to her cheek.
I'm Wonderbolt Trivia now, like Spitfire, like Smolder, like Stock Image. Yes indeed, yes indeed! Vlitkin Glattag!
Never in Fleetfoot's entire career had she seen a rejected recruit so rapturously proud of themselves. You're a real trooper, Redcap. I can't salute you as a fellow Wonderbolt, but I can certainly salute you as a fellow athlete. Fly high, Wing Pony! Fleetfoot tapped her left shoulder with her right hoof, as was the customary equestrian military gesture. She expected Redcap to return the salute, but instead his eyes just brightened to nearly supernatural levels before they rolled back and he fainted. She managed to catch his wispy body on an outstretched wing as it drifted downwards, then pushed back from her desk to begin searching for somewhere safe to house Redcap till his senses returned. She eventually settled on her freshly cleaned and pressed uniform that was folded on a shelf in the corner. Doubtful that Redcap would object to such a makeshift bed, Fleetfoot leaned back to give the softly breathing Breezy some rest and regarded her uniform for a moment. Her starchy, often antagonistic uniform. Yakistan's silk underwear to prevent chafing, huh? I might actually end up looking into that. Thanks for your contribution, Recruit. Author's note. Come on in, Recruit. Got your results here? At ease, Recruit. Have a seat and look less grim. We applied your one waiver to your history result, which means you're in. You made it. Feels chipper, doesn't it? I said at ease. You can speak freely while you're here, you know. I know about your voice. Details on the sheet. So stop being coy and answer me. Do you understand that you're a Wonderbolt now? Yes, ma'am. Come again? Recruit? Oh, for the love of... Recruit, state your name and rank. That's an order! Fleetfoot, newly enlisted, and this... I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. I didn't hear your rank in there. Ma'am, I ordered you to list your name and rank, and look me in the eye while you do it. I'm Fleetfoot, newly enlisted cadet at the Wonderbolt Academy. That's right, you're a Wonderbolt now, and while you're here, you'll respect yourself as such, understood? Don't just nod. Tell me you'll respect yourself. Yes, ma'am. I will carry myself with respect, ma'am. Very good. You're dismissed, but before you go, I have one last question. If you came in here with a perfect tongue but weak wings instead of the other way around, do you think you'd have been accepted? Probably not. That's right. We judge others on things that matter, cadet. That's how it works around here. We are not mean, we are not nice. We are fair. I don't understand, ma'am. That's all right. Stick with the team long enough and you will. Get good enough at it and you might even end up being the one vetting new hopefuls. I seriously doubt I have the heart for that, ma'am. Only time will tell. Till then, I'll see you on the track, Private. Yes, Grandmaster. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, this is Visual Pony from Pony&Wolf Productions, and I thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this video. At this point, I want to thank all of our amazing patrons on Patreon for supporting this channel with their monthly donations and keeping the lights on around here. Now, more than ever, it is important that you support your favorite content creators, because due to YouTube's new content policy changes, we, along with other content creators, had to demonetize a lot of our most profitable videos. For us, those are the Fallout Equestria stories. As you can see on the graph on screen right now, our earnings per video used to be relatively okay. Even though the earnings were never enough for a viable career, it was enough for a good, decent side income. Now we are struggling to pay our bills. If you want to support us for as little as $1 a month, you can do so by clicking on our Patreon link down in the description below. And you can get wonderful perks like, for example, early access to all of our stuff. Sometimes things like this are recorded months in advance. Voice acting lessons from me or Midnight, if you really want to. And you can join our Patreon Discord server. Even though it may look like there's not much going on in there, I am actually checking it on the daily. Thank you for listening to this message, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day.